Hello and welcome to Brainy Gardener. Today it is all about how to grow and care for the Agave ovatifolia. The Agave ovatifolia, commonly known as Wales tongue agave, is native to Mexico. It is a beautiful plant that has become popular among gardeners in the United States. It's most commonly known by the name Wales tongue agave in reference to the girth of its leaves. Agave ovatifolia is an evergreen rosette-shaped succulent that produces thick, waxy leaves that grow up to 3 feet long and incredibly broad. The leaves are bluish-green with sharp, bent spines spread out along their edges. They end in a terminal spine that completes the look. These agaves remain small, never reaching more than 3 feet in height. As a result, these plants are suited for both indoor and outdoor cultivation. This is an easy-to-care-for succulent, but it does require some special considerations. Agave ovatifolia is hardy in USDA zones 7 to 11, making it suitable for outdoor cultivation in those regions. The best place for the Agave ovatifolia is in full sun, though it can tolerate some shade. If your agave receives too little light, its leaves will get pale and lose color. If it's getting too much sun, it risks sunburn. These plants prefer an environment that is well ventilated with sufficient sunlight. Insufficient sunlight will cause the plant to develop slowly and with a loose form. The plants flourish in USDA hardiness zones 7 to 11 in full sun to light shade because of their drought tolerance capabilities. The Agave ovatifolia needs to be watered deeply, but not frequently. Once established, you should start watering once a week during the summer and once a month during winter. Overwatering causes root rot, the most common cause of death for the plant. The easiest to tell if your agave needs water is to stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil. If it feels bone dry at that depth, then you should water it deeply. The Agave ovatifolia prefers temperatures between 55 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. In warmer climates, it's best to provide some shade during the hottest times of the day. It is surprisingly frost-hardy down to about 0 degrees Fahrenheit, but should be sheltered from any direct wind. The Western Hemisphere's arid and semi-arid tropical zones are home to the Wales tongue agave. It prefers a dry, warm habitat. The ideal humidity level is between 40% and 50%, which you can easily achieve without much effort. Agave ovatifolia does not require fertilizer for healthy growth, though you can use a balanced fertilizer if you want to promote faster growth. It is best to use sow-release fertilizers since they are better for the soil and do not contain any harsh chemicals or additives. It is best to fertilize these plants during the growing season, which generally is from spring to summer. It is preferable to keep the fertilization frequency once a month. Wales tongue agave can be propagated from offsets and seeds. Agave ovatifolia rarely offsets, and most gardeners need to look for alternatives to grow. Seeds are a viable alternative if you can get your hands on them. To propagate by seeds, collect the seeds from the fruit and store them in a cool, dry place. Sow the seeds under a lightweight soil mix. Keep the potting medium slightly moist and place the plant in a warm area free from direct sunlight. The agave seeds will germinate within a few weeks. When the plants are large enough to handle, transplant them into larger pots or your garden bed depending on space. When using offsets, carefully remove the offset from the plant. If a removed shoot has roots, it can be planted directly into a pot. If a removed shoot has a wound, allow around 5 days for the wound to heal. After that, plant it in soil with good drainage and ventilation. It will generally take root in 10 days and survive. Agave ovatifolia should be repotted every few years. It is best to repot when it has outgrown its current container or if it has stopped growing. You should also repot if you notice that the roots have filled up most of the soil in their current. Wait for spring to repot your plant, as agaves are dormant during the winter. Choose a pot larger than your current one. Make sure it has drainage holes in the bottom. You can use a store-bought succulent soil mix or make your own. To make your own, combine 1 part potting soil with 2 parts sharp sand and 1 part perlite. Place your agave in an area where it will get bright sunlight. Remove the plant from its pot. Gently remove all the soil from around the base of your agave. Try not to disturb any roots. Remove any dead or damaged leaves. Gently place your agave in its new pot and fill it with soil mix until it's about 1 inch from the top. Water your plant thoroughly, making sure it all drains out. Agave ovatifolia is mildly toxic to humans and animals. The plant sap irritates the skin and mucous membranes, especially if you come into contact with it for a long time. These plants are susceptible to agave snout weevils, scale insects, slugs, and snails. The agave snout weevil is a common pest of this plant. They are small and black, with white antennae. They lay their young on the plant leaves, which hatch into larvae that eat holes in the leaves. Treatment is usually with systemic insecticides. Scale insects are small, hard bumps on the plant. They produce a secretion that attracts ants. You can scrape these off with your fingernail or use insecticidal soap to remove them. Slugs and snails can be a problem, especially in warm weather. You can use traps or copper tape to reduce the population of these pests or catch them. Frostburn, sunburn, and root rot are some of the most common problems. If your agave is exposed to very cold temperatures, it can become susceptible to frostburn. You can fix this problem by moving the plant into a warm environment where it will be protected from such temperatures. Sunburn can occur when your agave is exposed to direct sunlight for long periods. To deal with this issue, try moving your agave into the shade or under a tree, which will receive less light. Plants that are overwatered can become susceptible to a fungal infection called root rot. This is usually caused by excessive watering, but it can also be caused by using water that's not draining properly. Remove the affected roots and repot to give your agave a fresh start.